Where can we see if
There we
anybody else is
go.
online?
There we go.
I would join, but I'm here already.
Actually, somebody else jump online and see
And
what.
get my friend to go.
Right,
Yeah.
bottom
right, since 0 to
Yeah, well that's right. Well that sucks, huh?
We didn't publicise it very well.
No, but
No, but
I'll
we-
get my
it'd be
friends
nice to have one.
If you put it on back,
There's one of you guys to jump on
if you go
and
on,
become one.
go on back to Facebook and tell somebody to
Yeah.
join up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
some friends who are
Okay, so
interested.
it seems like it's going.
Yeah.
Let's just go to our plug site and we'll start.
You're on here.
Yeah, but let's join though. Just join as a normal person.
You have to invite. You have to invite.
No, it's a public one. You can just join it. So if you go to the plug website,
cheers.
click on the link. You should just be able to join it.
I don't think.
Oh, it's on plug.org.nz.
I don't think you can publicly join it.
I did make it public.
Anybody can watch it,
Oh, but we want.
but if you want people to speak, you have to invite them.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Can you see anything happening? Can anybody see anything happening? I know it's our first time. It's a real trial for us. But that Wellington thing was really good. So you're going to talk about that in your presentation, eh?
Yes,
Got starting soon
Not to
on.
mention it.
But I found that really helpful. I mean, like, here's all these guys down in Wellington.
Did we have the slides?
Yeah, but you guys weren't sharing them, so we couldn't read them.
Yeah, so I asked him for the slides and he said he'd put them in a Dropbox and I'll.
Just put them on Google Docs or we'll just
They're
share the
fantastic.
screen.
They're fantastic resources.
So I'll show you what you should be doing. But first I want at least one person to join.
I don't think we've got any audio.
I can see audio.
I think we've got audio.
Okay. You might want to turn down the computer. Excellent. We've got one person.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Palmerston North Linux Users Group. Can you hear me? It's a balmy 27 degrees in the valley today. Coming up in the next hour, we have the amazing Ramones. Okay, so what we're going to be doing tonight, I'll just share a screen with you. So if I go and share my web browser. So here we are. We're at the Plug Workshop. It is 3 minutes past 7 p.m. on a Wednesday night, May 14th. The first thing we've got coming up is I'm going to do the welcome, and then John's going to talk about why good hackers make good citizens. And then Josh and Brendan are going to talk about virtualization. But we're going to add a bunch of other stuff in here as well.
You haven't shared your desktop yet.
Yeah, it's not coming through.
Did I not do that? Okay, so let's go back and share the desktop. Yeah,
It's coming up there.
Yeah, it's just there's a big delay. Anywhere up to
Probably because we're all on the same network.
Mm.
I'm about to get rid of that anyway. So let's go back to here. So because I've only really started using Hangouts today, so this is how you get rid of the desktop. You just click on that again, and now it's gone. Okie dokie. So the first thing we do is a bit of an introduction, and since this is our first Hangout, I want us to start down that end of the table, and we're all going to go around and everybody's going to introduce who they are and why they are members of Plug.
Right, my name's David. The Linux that I use is Linux PC OS and also Ubuntu.
Hello, I'm Sean. I came because I want to learn about the Linux program because I'm working with a lot of people that have got Linux, but I'm not used to using Linux. I'm normally used to using other software.
Where you work?
I work as a federal director in Wanganui as well as Palmerston.
Oh, nice. So who are these people you're dealing with that use Linux?
It's AAA Colenso Pihi that's got a Linux software at the moment that he's just put on.
Let's grab a seat.
But he knows nothing about Linux.
Not sure if it's
And I've been talking with David to see.
You have totally come to the right place. Totally come to the right place. John?
Absolutely. I've fixed his computer. The guy.
John's actually one of the founding members of Plug as well. We've been going for 9 years. And who was the first house we went to? Was it yours?
No, it was a student flat where they all had Gentoo boxes.
That's right.
Remember that? That was about
Actually,
how many
cool
years
shit
ago?
going on. 9. I
9
checked
years.
out the other day. It's 9 years.
I'm John Ayres. I've been using Linux since 2000. The year 2000, I first heard about it. I'm highly excited. I'm a student now, and I'm still using Linux daily.
Nice. I'm Bryn. I own Spinning Planet. We've been sponsoring Plug for ages, you bastards. But it is so cool. You learn so much in this group, and it's just better for the betterment of mankind. It's true though. It's so true.
My name's Trevor. I use Linux at home for beginner and firewalls. I use a lot of open source software during my work. Use Inkscape, Blender,
Nice.
Scrubbers, and those sort of things. So I have to use Windows software for what I do. Vision, but I use those tools as complement to
It's good you said that because you just nominated yourself for the next Blender, Inkscape, and Open Office tutorials.
I'm Steve Worthington. I write embedded software in my day job, and I use Linux principally for with TV, for recording playback TV and video and that sort of thing. But I also use it for all sorts of other things, like my latest little router runs Linux or Linux.
Right, nice. We're going to take a detour and go around the back and then come back to Giovanni.
Hi, I'm Tim Hoyer, and I work at Landcare Research as a software engineer, mainly working on web applications and GIS. So, I don't know if you heard about it, but our environment, sinful.org.nz and SMAP Online, I've been mainly developed on that.
Nice, because a lot of that government data is now free for the land care type of stuff.
Yeah, and I use Linux everywhere.
It's the best.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Oh, hi, I'm Rachel Kidwell. I'm Zach's mum, so I'm just going to sit here and read. He's going to be a new member of the group.
Nice. Zach?
I'm Zach Brown. I just found out about Linux at the conference or something that you guys
At the library.
held at the library.
Nice.
They're interested in it, and I got just changed everything to Ubuntu.
Wow. Tell you what, Zach, I've got a Brennick stick sitting on a table here.
Using it, so
Well, you've got it. No, it's okay.
I'll just,
But you can have one for free. They're normally $30. But we want to have the young people have the right technology. Giovanni?
Hi, I'm Giovanni. I'm a computer science lecturer at SE Uni, and I use Linux everywhere, a mixture of Debian and Ubuntu.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris. I come from China, and I've got after I study university, I got a job here. Quite interesting, good last year, and I want to learn more about Linux. Basically, I just use it for my personal interest.
Nice.
My name is Brendan. I've used Linux in one form or another since about 2003. I'm currently a student of IT and electrical engineering at Universal College of Learning, Palmerston North.
Right, my name's Samir. I got into Linux a few years ago and using Kubuntu at the moment, which is like Ubuntu except a bit more graphical, cool stuff. And yeah, it's really interested in Linux and yeah, just trying to
Have you got a Brennick stick?
No, but I could easily just download Linux. And I'm in the what I'm trying to do is
I've already met my target, which is break even, so I'll give away some free Brennick
oh,
sticks.
sweet.
Okay, I'm Francis. I'm a student at Massey University, one of Giovanni's students.
What year are you? You said
I'm
last
first
time.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I run Ubuntu 12.04 at home. I've been using Linux for about 4 years, I think now. Yeah. Just generally use it for.
Everybody runs Ubuntu, eh? I don't think so.
It's a great system.
And I'm Jim. I'm a retired high school maths teacher. I've been running nothing but Linux since 2005. I've tried various flavors. I've also got a copy of Linux at home that I downloaded, but I'm running PC Linux like David does.
Okay. There's only one person watching. Does it automatically record this thing so we can play back? Okay. Okay, so if I go back to our sharing thing and we go back to our agenda for tonight. So we've got John starting off with this, but before we do that, I've just joined this new group, and our goal is, you may not know this, but there's over 2,000 families in Palmerston North that don't have access to the internet. So these are kids that are going to school and don't have access to the internet. What would that be like? How disadvantaged are they? Is there some really good things like computers in homes, been running for years, got some really great sponsors. They can only afford to do 50 families in Palmerston North this year. There's over 2,000. So we've started a new group. We haven't confirmed a name yet, but it's pretty much called Computers for Kids. And we've already made a deal with Roslyn School that we're going to choose 6 families. They can pay $3.50 a week for 2 years. They get a Google Chromebook. We supply them with the training. We supply them, it's only 3 gigabytes worth of data when they're at home to go off and Spynex wireless. But when they're at school, of course, the data's free. So what I want you guys to do, and it's not very much, is Spinning Planet sponsoring a lot of it, but I need guys here to be greeters, to be barmen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite all the Chamber of Commerce members up here, free wine, free beer, free food, and we're just going to talk about computers for kids, and all you have to do is just talk about why it's a good idea and why open source is a good idea, and this is what we should be doing. I'm not asking for anybody to sign up straight away, just putting the idea out there, because I'm going to email you, and then you're going to email me back going, yes, I'll be a volunteer. That's all you have to do. So now let's start with John.
Okay, I have the presentation on stick.
Let's take that then.
We could do it that way, or we could do it on my laptop.
Have you got a Dropbox account?
Is the microphone still working?
Email
Yeah,
it to
check
me.
the microphone.
Just email it to Brent at Spinning Planet. I support at Spinning Planet, actually.
You can't just temporarily drop on the box from.
Oh, we could. We could.
Wouldn't that be easier?
Yeah. Okay, so it's, well, there's only you. Is it? Do you want to check that just to make sure, because this is being recorded. So if we can have a look at John's.
That's YouTube.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Is it still working?
I'll just check.
I'll just go and check our mic settings as well.
Be a bit of a delay, but it'll come back soon.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre because when I sent out the invitation, which was from one of our YouTube accounts, I actually had a few Mac and Windows users on it, and they actually expressed interest. And I'm going, really? Maybe you are.
Check your microphone settings in the Hangout because I don't think we've got any audio
Still no.
We may not. Can't see anything happening there.
Wait.
Oros, do it.
Lost the drive.
Ah, that's right. Okay, it's working now.
Yeah.
I noticed during the introduction that once you got much past John, there was no audio showing up on the bars on the bottom of the screen. And
Right.
so the introductions from the people down the back there
There we go.
were not appearing.
That's how late it is.
One of the other things I'm wondering about
That's
is
a
I've
lot
got
of
my
noise.
smartphone is maybe you can set my smartphone up on
About 2 minutes
the
delay.
label over there. Just do it that way. But it is nice because when you share a document, everybody can read it.
Mute that now.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're going to get feedback.
What am I?
Although
So
considering the
one
delay, it's
like
going to be
meetup or
bad.
something,
It won't be much.
2 minutes later, we're going to hear it echo.
Right, so I thought I'd do it in LibreOffice instead of doing it in PowerPoint.
Yeah, it's either do it in LibreOffice or Google. So I'm going to let you
Fire
take over. Here you go.
Oh, I could have done it in Google.
Yeah, just do it in Google Docs because then it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to share if you're on.
Are you sharing the right screen?
Oh, here we go.
No, I don't even think we're sharing.
How do you know
Hold
what
on,
we're sharing?
we're not even sharing. So it's lucky we don't have any visitors. We are doing really
Got
bad at this.
3 viewers. It's not us. It's just Google's 2 minutes delayed from
Yeah,
me.
but isn't those 3 viewers just us?
Three now.
We're free?
Is
Wait.
that yours there? Which one's yours?
I'm pretty sure you can see the
The
viewers.
one on the left.
That one?
You might have to share the entire desktop, otherwise you're not going to see the presentation.
Yeah, this is the thing. Are we going to?
F5, isn't it?
You start that, and
No.
it's probably going to share the wrong window.
Why is that not? Oh, because it's not saved. File, no. What? What?
Not that used to.
It takes a bit of practice. This Hangout, getting the technology.
It's
just
a long
right.
one. Yeah, I was just saying tonight that Skype is easier.
A bit longer.
Why is that not working?
Would we have to maximize it? We do it.
Hold on. What if I just do this? What if I kill it? I can't even kill it.
You can't.
Oops.
Oh dear.
Lucky nobody is watching this, man, because I would not use Linux after this. No, it's okay. Well, let's just do it the manly way.
Oh, look,
So, coming up.
What's it called? The program?
Is that good enough? Or?
LibreOffice.
Let's just search for that.
No, it doesn't.
Let's just go top, because it's probably sitting in the background going, I don't know what I'm doing. Google plugin is taking all the resources.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh, it's off the stop then.
Okay, so if we go kill, -9,
Oh, it's
what
still
was
stuck
it?
off the top.
8996.
Office.bin.
That won't work.
Could you go kill
People,
9114?
sorry.
PSAUX.
There we go.
Play, and then grab, and then the name.
Oh, the
No,
number.
that works.
Okay, that's the number. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it's gone. So let's just copy that first, make sure it's owned by a different user. Yeah, don't care. Yes. Slideshows. There we go. Right, hold on. Go back over here to the share. It is.
Gone.
The copy one. The left at the bottom of the house.
Just
That
share,
one?
Yes.
share the entire desktop.
Left, yeah, that's
No.
Tell me, is that what you're seeing on your screen?
There's a huge delay.
There's about a
Oh
3
no,
minute
what's
delay.
going on?
Okay.
There.
Okay, so in 3 minutes we'll see if it comes up on it.
Okay.
Because that's Google.
Is that working?
In
don't
3
know.
minutes we'll find out because Google's
It's got that much of a lag on
Yeah,
it?
it actually
Where-
does.
Is it?
Yes.
Do you reckon it's going to stay?
Yeah, I'm
stays
thinking that we
coming
just
back?
do a video
Okay.
stream
Yep.
and
Skype.
maybe invert our presentation so it's white on black. Because then it's not overexposed and stuff like that. Anyway,
We could.
John.
Could you screen share the Voco? Oh,
don't worry.
If only we could.
Okay, I got really excited about this. Sometimes I get a bit manic, and for several reasons.
I kind of wish I'd recorded your presentation in Wellington because you did get manic.
Me?
You were freaking out.
A few minutes it might actually come up.
Because I've been to Wellington several times lately, and they have a lot of good groups running in Wellington. Their sponsors give them pizza and beer. The next meetup we're going to next week is sponsored by Microsoft, and they're offering
Pizza and beer.
pizza and beer. They often have good quality beer as well. Really nice. Sorry, anyway. The other thing is,
you can take any of us down there too.
yeah, I can do.
Thinking
You have
about
to
it.
sign up.
When is
You
this?
can sign up.
If it's about .NET, you won't be interested.
I'm actually interested in everything.
And most of the groups are on open source. There's 2 .NET groups. Most of the rest are sort of hacker type communities. They're coders, so they're into open source.
Yeah, I don't think this is working.
No, give it another minute. It's really laggy. Sorry, response is not.
Okay, and the other thing is I saw a fantastic TED talk by this woman, Catherine
Full
Bracey.
screen
I've got the link.
applications. These things never like full screen applications.
Guys,
She,
Sorry.
that's all right. People can yell out. 'Cause
Yep.
I'm not going to get too technical. She talks a lot about hacking as a kind of innovative system. You know, in the old days, hackers were these bad guys that wrote viruses and stuff. Nowadays, hacking has become a word for being innovative. And,
It's actually the other way around. Hackers have always been innovators.
Right.
It's the media that's taken
That's
the
right.
word and made it
That's right.
bad.
And well, the media is turning back again, and hopefully, and it's becoming trendy to be a hacker again. They talk about business hacking, where you create efficient light startups quickly, using sort of innovative modern technology to create a modern business. She talked about Benjamin Franklin there. Apparently, he never filed a patent because he thought all knowledge should be freely available. He made a heap of inventions that would have made him a lot of money, like bifocal glasses, lightning rods. There's a dozen of his inventions, and some of them related to printing and so on. He didn't believe in the patent system, which I found really interesting. The woman that ran this TED talk, Catherine Bracey, helps Code for America, and they base all their naming conventions on Benjamin Franklin's system for creating fire brigades. He was the first person to create fire brigades. So they have brigades. Code for America has brigades and brigade captains and so on. They do community coding in the States. It's become really big. It started getting me really excited just listening to it.
What is community coding?
Okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And another thing about the hacking philosophy supposedly is that you just get into mucking around with the stuff rather than talk about it and philosophizing.
Totally.
It's there's a bit of a get in there and fix the TV by pulling it back off and seeing what happens when you push something. Okay, I just talked about hacking business. Yeah, there's a fantastic YouTube clip I'd love to watch.
Okay.
You reckon?
Is it too long?
It's 10 minutes. Okay, so it's probably too long. He's an Australian guy that discusses the difference between him building a business in 2 days, totally illegally, accepting money.
Should we just watch a bit of it? Because that sounds pretty interesting.
You excited? Oh, let's see. We'll see. Can we get a
click on it?
If I click on it, I know it's going to pique your interest.
Maximise?
It's going to pique Bryn's interest. This is right up his alley. Turn up a little bit.
Sorry?
Then dream up an idea, code it in.
Who's got keyboard? You have.
Yes, sorry.
Volume.
Settle down and raise with my family, which is why you're listening to me here in Noosa today. One thing in life that fascinates me is the idea of right and wrong. How many people does it all take to start doing something before it's no longer wrong? Well, it's actually the reverse of that idea that I find even more interesting. How long can you resist doing something before you become the fool for not doing it too? In the old days, the word hacker referred to folks doing bad things with computers, but that's changed. It now means anyone doing interesting stuff, usually in some kind of non-conventional way, and it doesn't just mean computers. You can hack everything from hardware to DNA and life itself. So I'm going to talk about hacking business. And just to keep you confused, I mean both definitions of the word at once. There's basically two ways to set up an internet business. You can just do it, or you can do it properly. For the last year or more, I've been establishing my new online anti-fraud business the proper way. Now, during my anti-fraud adventures, I've also observed plenty of just do it operations. So observing isn't the same as doing though. So just for this talk, I set one up to show you exactly how it's done firsthand. Any web business needs, of course, a website and a way to get money out of people. Now, the money part used to be a problem for hackers because banks put good effort into blocking fraudulent scumbags, which is clearly inconvenient if you're setting out to be one. So I chose Bitcoin instead. It's a worldwide peer-to-peer anonymous cryptocurrency. You can buy and sell stuff for Bitcoins, buy, sell or trade Bitcoins themselves, cash them in any number of different ways, or download mining software and mint your own. I've been mining for the last month or so now, and I found about $100 worth so far. Bitcoin is immune from government or bank interference. It's not controlled by anyone. There's no fees. And because it's based on cryptography, it's also immune to fraud. Most interestingly, Bitcoin is anonymous. Now, the fundamental difference between a hacker business and a legitimate one is the hacker knows in advance they're being naughty, so they take defensive steps from day one. The one I set up is designed to steal money from idiots. If you're squeamish about being that naughty, just pretend I'm selling fluffy robot bunnies or something. The principles are the same. Now, I know fraud. My job is to block, track, and investigate it, so I obviously didn't do this from home. I grabbed my Bitcoins and my laptop, jumped in the car and found a quiet spot with free Wi-Fi. I booted a live CD, which is the tool of choice for today's internet fraudsters because it prevents any evidence of your actions turning up later, and I installed a Chinese proxy. If anyone tries to track me later, they'll just see China in there and blame them. China bashing is totally in vogue right now. The next thing I did was set up an email address. The American NSA permanently record and monitor all international internet traffic and most domestic stuff too in their total data awareness program. So to keep off their records, I chose web.com.na from Namibia. Now I needed a domain name, and I found the company domainsforbitcoins.com. They're in the Netherlands, and I registered the domain destroyreputation.me. I avoided a .com because the customs and FBI regularly shut those down, and .me is kind of cool.
Underneath it, it has the links to the presentations.
It's critically important to pick new and different countries for everything, because any investigations that might take later will be installed and usually stored in their tracks at every new border. Finally, I needed
How should you win one? You tell me. I've got 3 to give away.
Ask one.
So you guys tell me how you should win a Linux stick. Is it just based on you want one the most?
Yes.
2 more. What's the next value system?
People that volunteer to have tours.
Like the road test.
No, actually,
Look at that.
are you
It's
going
got a
to do the
microphone.
next talk? And I would actually like to see something on Inkscape or Blender.
Get on.
Who wants to do the next talk?
The road tester.
Here we go.
We could ask Star Wars questions.
Just email me your blurb, and let's go back to John's presentation.
Oh, yeah, so I really like the guy. He's pretty awesome.
He is cool.
What he does is he contrasts how easy it is to build his illegal, dodgy business. It took him like 2 days or so. He goes into it more detail than that. He goes crazy with it. Compared to the to how long it took him to build the legit version of his business, which took years. He got into patent trouble in the States. He got into just amazing. Some patent troll got hold of him. There's a long story, and he lists like 100 pieces of paperwork he had to fill out in Australia to get his business started, and it just goes.
But that's why I was interested in, what was it? Namibia, what's it called?
Namibia.
I've been thinking about that because I've been talking to patent lawyers and stuff, and they're going, oh no, firstly do your basic Google patent search, and I'm going, can't I just start my company in China or something and do it over there? Because I actually don't believe in patent law or copyright anyway, because they're both bloody 13th, 14th century ideas anyway. They don't work.
Namibia is somewhere in Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Southwest
that's right.
Africa or something.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you're going to use a proxy, you wouldn't use a proxy in the US, Australia, France, or England. You'd use a proxy in Russia.
So how do I get back to my presentation?
One of those tabs, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, is it here?
It's one of those tabs.
I thought software patents were not.
Wouldn't it be Alt Tab or something?
No, if I go Alt Tab, I can.
Or Alt Tools. No, because you're in the browser. Here we go.
Okay, sorry. Okay, that's the guy who used hacking by sensors to try and catch up to where it was. Okay, now my idea is I'd like to help the community, so I'm a bit like you often, although I'm full of ideas and I don't actually do anything, whereas you actually do more than anything.
I'm actually thinking of selling my whole company and just doing community stuff now.
Wow.
I know.
That was unexpected. I thought there's one of the main problems with me or people like us getting out to the community is how people see us. They see us probably. I was wondering, like my son was talking about it, how we looked in the library, how technical people appear.
That's right. We're going to do it better next time.
My son was trying to explain. He thought we looked really nerdy, like that kind of nerdy, or even. There's another. Can I just do this quick? Another quick. I'll show you how nerdy we look.
I was thinking I'm quite racist because all you guys look the same to me. You get this glint in your eyes when we're talking about something nerdy, and I get it too. That's what Book gets.
This is how nerdy we look. That's what we look like.
The usual way to get away.
That is how we look like.
Awesome.
And I've got one more example.
Let's go.
This is a really cool example. These are my heroes. These guys. I just had to.
Nothing to be ashamed of, John.
Wait till you see it.
Back in 1969, a couple of computer scientists started to develop some programs they needed for their own
Do you know who those guys are?
What Ken Thompson and
That's Dennis Ritchie
started developing then has evolved into the Unix operating system.
Storm there.
Because it provides graceful facility for
It's
simple
20
subtasks.
minutes. Can I see 20 minutes there?
The Unix operating system is basically
there's a really good shot of
the shell. Or
I mean,
which
basically, so they're
gives
basically
the-
the guys that came up with that system, aren't they?
Who's doing the next presentation?
Tonight.
Tonight.
Me and Brendan.
Okay, because we've got to be finished by 9. We
Okay, I'll
could
try
go
to
to
speak to
9:30. Normally it's finished by like pretty soon. But it's okay if we want to go a bit longer.
Okay, that's an example of the kind of nerdy humour that I get into.
That's right. Who's more than 16K?
Hey, Brian. Right. So I thought, well, maybe we can get out there. And the way we could do it is if we collect up a skill set, maybe we have an inventory or something like skills, because we're all people that are into collaborative culture, and we've got the IT skills. We just need to get out there somehow. And then a good way I thought we might be able to do it is catch them by getting them interested in making their own web websites or contributing to web. People in the community could be content generators because that's what they want to do.
Content's everything.
That's right. They have things like genealogy and content to dump at the web, and we've got the skills to help them get it there. So we're talking about clubs, but I'm also talking about civic hacking, which is where the council would come in, because they'd help facilitate this.
So that's what the whole thing's about, is about that whole civic hacking idea, is how we interact with other groups.
Right, and we use, it's our duty as citizens, in fact, that's what.
I believe that too, totally believe that.
If we're in this privileged position to help them contribute themselves and be citizens and generate a better Palmerston North, is that right?
Dude, it's where Giganeers compared to everybody else.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so this is what Code for America did, is they got a lot of open source geeks, and they made a parallel site to one of the council sites. Firstly in Honolulu, they got the community to generate their own content with things that they kept coming up, problems that they kept having. Like, I can't remember the exact thing, is somebody had trouble getting driver's licenses. How the hell do I get a driver's license?
A bug tracker for the city council.
Oh, it could be something like that.
Nice.
But it streamlines some of the inefficiencies and broken systems that the council had.
Right, and they set a really simple interface.
Parking's broken.
Well, exactly, parking. You've got a parking issue. There you go.
It's one of the guys that I talked to, talks about broken bottles on the street. He said, why can't I just take a photo and submit that to the council so the next time they're cleaners come out?
is now available.
Oh, nice. Nice.
The app is now
Great idea.
And robots as well.
Totally. Right, and there you go.
It saves them heaps of money.
So this Code for America have done all those kind of things already. They've thought of all this before already, and they've generated free open source apps for you.
Nice.
That you could actually just drop down. The problem is the Palmerston North County Council is probably not interested in. They have a corporate thing that's built on the ASP.NET web server.
No, as they are actually quite interested. And they've got their own digital strategist and stuff like that.
Okay, there's two really good examples here. City of Chicago and the school cuts. The parents didn't want to get their schools cut out. They were consolidating the schools. They're cutting out, moving kids into lower decile schools even. And the City of Chicago is a really interesting example. I have to go there just quickly.
Yeah.
Can I go there? Okay. Let's look at this data.cityofchicago.org, where they actually give you all the possible data under a kind of charter. They offer all the data that they collect publicly because it's not just their data, it's our data. They also, believe it or not, they let the appies to work with the data are all available, and the chief data technology officer for the City of Chicago works once a month or once a week sometimes to help open source community work with this data. So they actually have guides about how you can use it. There's a whole lot of examples. There's potholes. It's one of them. Well, there's a million examples. This is what Code for America is really big on, this kind of thing, because they release all the code and make sure there's repositories, that kind of thing. I got quite excited about this idea. Public data, that's pretty cool.
I think we're just going to take a pause and you're going to come back, but we're going to collect some gold donations and people can grab a coffee and stuff, but then you're going to continue after that and then you guys can switch over and do the advanced stuff. Because we are at break time.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to give somebody a bowl and they're going to go around and collect gold coin donations. There is no obligation to donate, and we haven't actually really even spent any of the money for the last 9 years. What? $10?
Where's it going?
Oh,
Do you want some money back?
I've been here for what, about 5 meetings?
Okay, yeah.
There you go.
You're gonna have to put up with silver coins. I haven't got any gold
Right,
today.
there's fresh coffee in here. I'll put the jug on if you want tea, but we don't have milk, and that's my fault because I don't drink milk normally. But help yourself. Around the other side of this. Yeah. And if you want to go to the bathroom, there's 2 bathrooms out the back. You've got 10 minutes. And if the alarm goes off, don't worry, I'll come running out after you. So you can go to the bed. And this is also the time, if you've got any questions about Linux, just ask everybody and somebody will come up with an answer.
That's what Senegal do all of a sudden. You were looking at how do you for computers.
I think we just put a camera down the end here and just leave it running, and it doesn't have to be live, because we can't really interact with people because it's a normal presentation, and then we just upload it. Unless you want to take it over, because I don't actually want to do that. So why don't I just give it to you, and it's your job to work out how you can do it. And I'll just supply you with the hardware. So if you need a dedicated computer or a phone on a stand, you just tell me what you want, and you can have it. Yeah, you're in charge of that now.
Because it does, it's like the sounding, you can't be performing and.
That's right, and I just don't want to do it.
What do you want to do? Switch. How do we screencast this? The rest of my presentation. Can we do it? I'll look for it first.
And the thing is if we've got all the presentations online anyway, really it's just about, it's normally when you come to one of these presentations, there's a little snippet that you go, oh, I wish I remembered that, or I'd written that down. And so if you can just go back to the YouTube video or something.
Does anyone know how to index on a YouTube video?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can.
You put bookmarks on it? Like, index like a...
Yes.
You can.
You know, it's all those like subtitle things and stuff. It's not hard.
Here's the thing, I think if you right click on it, or there's a link, you can
You-
just be
It's
halfway
got
through
a
it.
full online video editor now. It freaked me out.
Yeah, but even just while you watch it, there's a way of getting a link.
Okay, so
Is you can insert background music, you can do crossfades, you can do, it's bizarre now.
You will know more.
And it's all just in the web browser. Okay, who's got new toys? You've got a new toy. A power plug right there. Oh, well, these are just laptops. They'll last for an hour.
Just plug in, it's all set up, and it should be able to bring up a web browser.
How do we get to it?
Plug in an Ethernet cable. It's DHCP.
Hold on.
What's the name of the street down?
Cables.
Because you used to be.
Oh yeah, you know there's little shed down that way by, you've got some heat it was the sales office in there. That's down that side of town.
Oldsburg, Collier Highway.
What's this name?
What Peak?
Has anybody ever come across a guy called Brian Boyko?
Yeah.
Very funny. It's got a bit of
Oh, I think you're going to put it to your laptop. Yeah. That's good.
How many funeral services are in town?
Bryn,
Yes.
have you come across a guy called Brian Boyko?
No, who's that?
He's talking about Windows 8.
Unusable.
There's AAA filters.
I've actually heard a lot of my clients hate it. That's right. I can hear it.
I don't know if it's
Yeah, it's kind of Microsoft just went away, you know, because when they stole the graphical user interface system from Microsoft, they actually kind of did it. From Macintosh, they kind of did it better. but they've gotten worse and worse and worse, and I wonder who their
I
consultants
think
are.
what they've done is they've thought about mobile phones, cell phones, and tablets, and forgotten about laptops altogether.
Which is really important because all those other ones are what's called media consumption devices. They're only for viewing.
Yeah.
This is the most important because it's for creating.
Yeah. Brian Boyko, B-O-Y-K-O. I won't leave it running now, but
Share the link on the chat thing, though.
Yeah.
Well, you can just email it to me and I'll put it as the notes for the meeting.
Yeah.
Or before we start. Well, how long is it? It seems to be long. Oh, that's too long. Sorry?
I mean, I used to have really horrible problems using it without the top. I don't know. Yeah, but generally, if you've got anything you want to run, you've got a shell script or whatever, you've got to mark it executable before you can use it like that.
I'm going to find out if it's take away this user. So that's a big question.
But they've tried Googling it from their cell phones to try and work it out. They still can't.
No, because it's all so different. There's so many different versions of Linux.
Yeah.
You know.
This is the first thing, is to get the version.
If you look at it,
See, and that's why I love Node 3 because it standardizes Linux. It makes the interface
like
the same for every distribution, whether you be Slackware, Fedora.
You could make a script or something which does it automatically, but
That's not easy.
yeah, it's not necessarily. I mean, it's not too hard, I guess.
It's actually not
I'm still high school.
my own
Struggling
version
to
of Linux.
know everything in CSS, which is way basic.
So I can't
Oh, well,
claim-
bash scripts are actually really simple.
Exactly the same as
I
what
think
Mike
the whole
just did.
any programming language just takes a lot of time.
Or have you worked with command line tools? So you don't know stuff like the CD command?
it's a bit like OpenOffice.
You'll have to learn command line stuff at some stage.
Yeah, because they're Windows.
It's not
Probably you more than me when
See,
you're
these guys
How-
around this
which
age
year have you?
know 10 times more than Windows guys.
Yeah.
Bren,
And
your,
Windows is
Possibly.
your
I didn't
development
actually- I
is a
learned
bit
most
like
of my
the
stuff in
guy
the
from
space of a year. though,
OpenOffice who forked off to form LibreOffice.
That's right.
Yeah,
Same developers. When
Is Linux is the most used operating system in the world. It runs the most web servers, which is where you access all your websites. It's also the most dominant operating system because it runs on devices like routers, the thing that you connect to the internet to. And my friend actually wrote the TCP/IP code that every router uses to connect to the internet.
All Android phones.
That's right, all Android phones are actually.
Oh, wow.
Android phones run a Linux kernel. They're Linux underneath.
See,
It's just a different.
and Macintosh, even though it's not Linux, it's based on
It's
the same
Unix.
thing. Well, it's BSD.
yeah,
So it's based on BSD, which again is free software that everybody else has developed, and all they did is put a pretty GUI on it. Because their operating system sucked. Because I used to have to teach with it. And OS 9 had just deteriorated to a time, it wasn't even, you couldn't even run multiple programs at the same time. Windows 95 had come out, you could run multiple programs. That's right. I got Windows XP down to 93 megabytes of RAM, which is pretty good.
Yeah, but when I'm running Firefox now, it takes half a gig before it does much.
Firefox needs a kick in the arse, because it can't compare to Chrome, man.
Chrome took 300 gigs.
Yeah, but the way that Chrome uses memory is different, and its JavaScript engine is just so much faster.
a lot of people are complaining about the latest 29, Firefox 29. It's certainly screwed up the whole interface.
And Firefox Mobile sucks. They've messed it up, and they've got to get it right. Because I want to be using free software, or open source software, because it's secure. I don't trust Google.
But at least they're encrypting millions of business links now.
Yeah.
That's why I generally use
still know the
Chromium.
NSA is looking at my
Chromium.
data and shit.
Are you using start pages It's a
Like,
cer-
as I am a member and the mail.
I know,
thing
it's
as
I didn't
well.
do the mail, but I did.
I can't do
on the
business
Google
and work with
website.
those. I have to use my servers. I have to use Google because it's fast. It's what my clients use.
But Start Page uses
But I mean,
Google as
you've
a
got
search,
basically no choice. You have to use
even though it
this one
doesn't
is-
release
might as well use
any
Chromium
information.
over Chrome.
It doesn't read
More
any.
likely than not.
You can use your own encryption, and most of the Google stuff is open source now, because you got the Chromium version built from the source Google
It
release.
says
What's the I actually tried it last night. What's the open source free thing where you download downloads a Firefox browser and it's all secure?
Tor.
Tor.
yeah.
Tor is secure.
Start
I
Page
started running
says
it last night. I went, dude, that's not secure. You've got my session identity and shit like that. And I actually, as I'm going, I can't actually do safe browsing with this. I might as well, because I don't know. I rent a number of servers around the world. I can rent a server for $25 a year in the US or Australia or the Ukraine, and I might as well just proxy all my shit through that and forget about Tor. Because Tor, all that shit that's in the browser stuff is still getting through. It's not safe.
Yeah, they
Start
found out
Page
there
claim
was-
it's the most private search engine, but it says enhanced by Google.
Is the thing is, if you want to do anything like log into your Facebook page or install the plugins so you can download videos.
You have to connect to a proprietary server.
Yeah, and so it's going to use something proprietary in the step. So what you want to do is you just want to say, I'm starting from the Ukraine. And it's a $20 a year server, and it's really easy to set up an SSH tunnel, and you go, boom, right, all my traffic is now just going through the server again.
So now Putin's looking.
Yeah, I'd rather he looked, because he doesn't give a fuck what I'm doing.
Well, yes, he does, because he's quite happy to use the question purposes, but.
Have you got a bleeper on this transmission?
I think we stopped transmitting, didn't we?
We just gave up.
We have no idea.
That's actually a good reason for recording it on a standalone camera.
Yes.
And editing it later. So we can delete this stuff on.
Otherwise, people will be creepy.
Well, and that's really how you guys did it when you were in Wellington. It was really just a stream, you know, which was good, but we couldn't see it. And that's what I'm saying. If we just negative the screen, which is really easy to do in Linux, so it's not overexposed, we could just stick up a camera at this end and go.
I saw a really nice write-up on some guy who got fed up with his neighbours stealing Wi-Fi. He didn't want to put a password on for some reason. His neighbours kept on using it. So he wrote a little proxy that whenever they connected, it flipped all the images upside down on web pages.
Why didn't you want to use a password?
I don't.
I tried to be sneaky today because I've got all these video cameras running. I put up a web browser. Let's do this. Let's go escape. Control tab. Alt tab.
Alt tab.
Nothing's happening.
It's running on a computer somewhere.
Oh no, we're not in a browser.
There we go.
What is? Oh, that's the actual stream.
And it's still recording.
That's going on itself. Wow, look at that. All the trees are brown, the trees are brown, and the sky is orange. I can't even open up a new tab. Oh, here we go. So if I go to security. So I had these dodgy guys come up yesterday saying, oh yeah, we're trying to get to the 4th floor. And I'm saying Mediascope. And they went, yeah. And these guys, I'm not racist or anything, but they were dodgy. And I'm going, oh really? And then they ended up in our stairwell and they went, what are you doing in my stairwell, bro? So I walked out the back, went to the toilet, and they're standing up there looking out the window, and I went, yeah, you guys are dodgy.
Hey, what's that camera you got there? Camo 3.
So I went, oh, I better check on my cameras, and they weren't going properly. So I set them all up properly. Why is this going so slow? Oh, because we're doing a video stream. But yeah, it's going slowly. But I sorted all these out. So these are like $50 wireless cameras. Still got to put one downstairs. That's not going. But got the stairwell out the back, and you can do a live feed as well, so you can do this. Don't ever buy a live feed video system off me, because they just don't work.
So what's this using?
I've got no internet. What's going on? I know I have, because I got to here. Oh, no, it's not working because I had to change the password so you guys could access the internet. That happened to me last time, and I didn't change it after our last plug meeting, so I had no video footage for like a month. Yeah, I've got a box over there, which is a plug wireless box, and I just thought, oh yeah, just every time you guys hear, I'll just switch power on, no password.
Just get one of the bits around software which does this.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't actually want you guys to be on my software. I want it to be separate, and because like when you guys join my network, you've actually got access to my whole network.
Yeah, that seems really
and my servers and all that sort of stuff. It's like you trust.
But hackers are good people. Why should you be worried?
I know, I tell you what, these UCOL students, they're dodgy, eh? I've met a few of them, and they are dodgy.
Hey.
Okay, we've got 4 more minutes to go. Does anybody have any questions about Linux?
How's the router going? Is that we're going to get?
Oh right,
tell us
about the router. Well, it's going live hopefully at the end of this week. I'm just testing the firewall at the moment, and I've just discovered when I was setting it up for tonight, putting DHCP on all the ports, I discovered that I could actually access the router's web page through the internet port, which is definitely wrong. It's not supposed to be accessed through the internet port.
But it's running its own software, or are you running its own Linux on it?
It's running the EJOS version of Debian, which is basically their version of IATA.
So you can SSH in its roots.
You can do all that, and
present to it at the password page when you get it.
You can type in tables to.
It's well, I'm not sure it's type in tables to turn, but it's basically it hides all that from you. I haven't gone down to the bottom level. It's whatever Debian was doing. So I suspect it's original IP tables. But you basically get all the IATA control structure on top of it, so you don't have to know how to do IP tables, which is
Want to know IP tables?
Well, no, it's much easier if you just give it a IATA. Tell it what to do. But yeah, it's so far it's doing everything that I need to do. The GUI doesn't do IPv6. But still doing some more optimization and things. So it runs a MIPS processor. There's one of the special MIPS which has got download mechanics in the hardware. I haven't investigated thoroughly, but basically can offload a lot of that stuff and it's still running more offloading pages to go. At the moment, the next version is supposed to come out with offloading for some group inside.
It's MIPS does traffic shape really well.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
swap. Do you know what's the model number of your processor? So that's 746.
You can find out.
I was interested in it, but then the whole dongle computer thing came out. So why would you buy one?
Make a wonderful media service. I've got it stuck in the back of my TV. Because it will stream from YouTube or a whole pile of other sites. You scan your local network or USB drive. It goes away, and if you've got your videos, movies and TV series, AVI separate, it will go away and scan websites for the TV series and download artwork for those per episode.
But what software is that?
There's websites that have all this. You query them for artwork for this movie, and they've got a whole pile.
Oh yeah. But that's not Raspberry Pi. That's the software you're running.
That's XMVC.
Like media. Oh, XMVC.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Raspberry Pi, because this is quite nice. People.
Totally.
To get in there and you can.
Hardware hacking. Yeah, totally. No, it's very good.
You only put a memory card and change the memory card, and you change your operating system. So you
totally. But you can do that with Android devices as well. Like I'm trying to do that with my set-top TV at the moment because I hate Android on it. It's just kind of dumb. It doesn't work properly. But the way that Android works is you've got 2 types of memory. You've got the fixed memory, so if everything goes wrong, you can restore it back, and then you've got the running Android. You can just put Linux in the running Android. As long as it's ARM or a mini processor, it'll just run. You can actually overwrite the other one as well, just take you back. Ooh, it's lucky because that's like a $30 hit, sir.
$30 hit.
That's right, I'm going to take it out of your allowance this week.
My screen.
Oops. Oh, what happened with the screen?
That's just gone to sleep.
Anyway, it's.
Okay, John, you ready to start back again?
Yeah, but it's really just gigabit ports, but you can only get up to about 600 megabits in real throughput through it. So for somebody who's going off the optical fibre, does that very nice because that's only 100 megabit. But you've got to be a geek to run it. It's not easy to set up yet.
But it's got a true gigabit backplane though, eh?
So you can use it as the edge router.
Yes.
So you can go and buy a 24 gigabit switch, but it's only got a 1 gigabit backplane, which means if you're running 24 devices off it, it's 24 divided by 1 gigabit.
Yeah.
That little device itself has a 1 gigabit backplane, which means it's true gigabit.
So, and it'll get faster the more they offload onto the special hardware. So at the moment, the VPNs can be a bit slow. As soon as they've offloaded that, that'll speed up. That's coming in the next version. And there's one guy who bought one of these simply because he wanted a nice little MIPS box to play with, so he just replaced it with standard MIPS Debian and was using it for that.
Why don't we leave this for a presentation, because I actually want to see it.
Yeah, well, it's going to be in service, so you won't be able to see it again after this.
Then why don't you just take it in service and bring it up here and show it?
Sorry, it's run 24/7 on my network.
You could actually do a slideshow.
Slideshow would be good, and it's about your time for a presentation. Now,
That's
you carry
right.
on with yours because we're going over time.
No, sorry, I'll speed up.
Fine.
Great. I was gonna speed through this, but okay, that's how this is. Do we do that? Oh yeah. So I'm gonna do a mandatory inventory of all your skills, everybody here tonight. I'm setting up with the library now. I found a guy in the library who's quite well placed. I'm going to talk about him in a second. And we're going to set up some groups. He's offering space in the library.
I actually went to the digital inclusion meeting the other night. The council's running it. So the council's now got a permanent digital strategist, and they're trying to link together all the businesses and organisations on how we can make Palmerston North the digital centre of New Zealand. And they actually mentioned Plug, and they mentioned this. So they're talking about it.
Awesome. This is the man himself, Warwick Taylor, digital engagement team leader. So he said they were definitely looking at, the original idea was they had a hacker's place where geeks would come and do coding, which is something that happens at one of the meetups. They have a real hardcore hack where you have to hack and nobody mentions hack, and it's like Fight Club. Or there's another version that's like Code Noodlers or something, which is more friendly, help each other one. And there's something else where we teach people how to build basic websites. And
No.
No?
Don't do any of that.
None of those ideas?
No, that's wrong.
Okay.
Carry on.
I came up with 3 ideas that I presented to him. He offered space resources like big couch, big screen like this in the library, coffee, tea making, that kind of thing. And they have a lot of machines around. We could hook up by screencast or whatever to Wellington meetups, so we can we can lean on their expertise. Okay, so when you're having meetups, and I don't have to drive down there every week. They have heaps of.
The library has the main connection to PNIX in Palmerston North. So every main centre in New Zealand has what's called a NIX, like there's A NIX, P NIX, W NIX. I know ours sounds like penis, but that is the whole routing traffic of New Zealand. Now we're really lucky in Palmerston North because we've got InspireNet, we've got Telstra Clear, we've got Telecom. All the main fibre comes through Palmerston North, so we're not only the hub for distribution of physical items, we're the hub for data. as well. Is we are actually the data capital of New Zealand, but nobody knows it. Next.
Sorry. Okay. that first one, instead of their own websites, we get them to they're content providers. We could somehow work with the council, have either a parallel site or some site that links into groups. But they should be able to help us bring Palmerston North people's content online. Right? And that's maybe where we could help, rather than there must be. There's the other meetings around New Zealand. He said he's putting 2 weeks' time. He showed us the room and said, go for it. So all we have to do, this is after hours, like this time. So all I have to do is work it out with Brendan to get the technology right.
Nice.
Is really, the guys in the meetups are okay with it in Wellington, in the different businesses and the Biz Dojo.
Totally, I want to be a part of that. That's such a good idea.
Okay, that was that. I think. Oh, this is how I got so manic. In the first place is because I went to some meetups. And here's the next meetup I'm going to. From student to software developer, bridging the gap.
God, I thought I could see you there. It's true, because you've always been manic. That's your personality profile, though.
Possibly. Okay, now I can get on to something more interesting, like Docker.
Okay.
Can I do the Docker one now?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sweet as, speed it up. I'll do a fast Docker demo.
Alt-tab.
Alt-tab. How do I get out of that and do it?
Alt-tab.
I'll close this one together, right? And
Okay.
It'll just start up from where
Control
are
W.
they? Where are they in this system?
Alt-tab.
We're going.
Go to File Manager. There we go.
Okay, where's the Docker one? That's
the Docker one?
that one. Woohoo!
You can do it.
Okay, so I went to a Docker meetup. I was so excited. Wow, talk about man, you should have seen me in this one. You should go to these sites. It's really, really trendy.
Firstly, explain what we're doing, because I have no idea what we're doing.
Oh my god, oh my god. Okay, so Docker is a kind of virtualization, but it beats the pants out of VirtualBox, anything like that.
But I mean, like, there's a bunch of people here who don't even know what virtualization is.
Okay, so you're running two
Explain
different.
what that is.
You're running two different systems on your machine. Like we were talking about Ubuntu and who uses what.
Yeah.
Right, I can run Fedora or Linux on this machine as well as Ubuntu, and I can run 100 instances of it on this machine, 200 instances on this machine without any lag, because they're all using the same kernel.
I used to have at least 30 servers. I purposely built that server room. I used to have 30 servers out there, and now all runs on that one green light sitting above the batteries.
Okay, I could improve that.
Virtualized.
I reckon I could improve on it, but this is the.
Saved me $1,000 a month in power.
Okay.
Power alone.
This is a quick super rundown. The original challenge, it's built for developers because developers they'll build something on one set of hardware on a laptop. I might build it on Ubuntu. I might build my website using a LAMP stack. Like I might use PHP and Apache and MySQL. And the next thing is I have to dump it up onto Brendan's server. But his server's running different hardware. He's using a different version of Linux, different libraries. Oh my god!
Right.
So it was the same issue. Here's the matrix from hell.
No, it's true. We have Windows people come to us and they go, "Hey, look, man, we're using MySQL and we're using PHP," and I go away.
Now exactly the same problem was solved. It's already been solved in the world of transport.
It's meant to be transportable. We just go down.
In the world of transport, you have a whole lot of weird different stuff like pianos and oats, and they're all being transported around the world. And the answer to the problem was containers. Okay, and they all run on ships. Now what I'm going to do is containerize my applications, like only the necessary parts, like the parts of the LAMP stack that are important, and run it on the same kernel using Docker. If I put Docker on Brendan's server, it doesn't matter what version of Linux he's running, and I have Docker. Doesn't matter what version of Linux on my laptop.
What does it mean security-wise? Because I've never actually allowed you to do that.
It is super secure. It's more secure than
a KVM, a virtual machine.
Yeah, you're not going to.
Well, it's not because I'm still controlling the network.
Hang on,
I'm quite interested because presently we wouldn't allow it to happen.
Okay, so what happens is, as long as we're both running Docker, I can drop that containerized file up to his server.
I don't run Docker.
No, you can go yum install Docker, and I can go apt-get install Docker.
I never would though.
Okay, give it a chance. Give it a chance. You haven't.
No, I'm interested because I might go. Yes, I'll install Docker if you can convince me.
Okay, I'm trying. Build once, finally run anywhere. So it's great for developers, right? Because it doesn't matter about building your environment in the first place. I don't have to worry about which SQL and which library. Which.
No, never do Java.
Hang on. Okay. So what happens is.
I'm actually quite interested in this.
Now it's suddenly going to get. So the host OS stays the same. The server. What it does is it forks out some processes, just the relevant ones.
It's not really a VM though, is it?
So there's no drivers or anything that's seriously low level, because it's the kernel.
It's not a VM.
It's the kernel essential, but it's just working out what it needs to make the difference to run the software, to run my application.
And I completely love that.
Okay, it also has. Okay, I'll get back to my presentation. Okay, to see how trendy, I'll prove how trendy it is and prove that it's going to change the game completely, is the Core OS, which is the new Linux OS brought out by Andreessen, Mark Andreessen?
No.
In California, he's the biggest venture capitalist in San Francisco, in Silicon Valley. He's bringing this Core OS out as the standard for massive server deployments. It's going to run multi-architecture or bare metal, doesn't matter. It'll run in like completely virtualized, so you fire your Docker and see Docker is. This is on the first page. Docker's there, right?
Don't try to explain to me because I've got to read it.
Okay, you can
go
read
read it. That's
that.
not what your presentation is.
Okay. Gee.
But I am interested.
Let's play with Docker. Okay, so the thing is.
If it's Debian, I'm not going to do it.
Have you got a Oh no, of course.
No, well, Red Hat based, strongly RPM based. Well, for me, but not for everybody else.
Docker, you can go RPM yum install Docker, and bang, you've got it on your server. It doesn't have to be Debian.
Okay.
What I do in this example here is I just build a minimal machine with debootstrap.
Yeah.
See that? I'm just getting the keyring.
For those that weren't here for the debootstrap thing, you can actually start up your own machine by doing this.
So I can make a minimum machine here, and I'm putting it into this output folder here, okay? I'm just getting the key rings so that I get
This is the advanced session because that is really advanced.
No, it's not. What I do is I change.
So advanced.
I change directory into my output. I've built a wee machine, a minimal machine. I put it in that output folder. All I do is I whack it. That command, all that does is whack it into Docker and containerizes it. Bang, like that, it's containerized. Okay.
I'm so sorry, all those people that don't know what shell commands are, CD and what tar is,
right now,
extraction.
It's me.
Now here I can run.
No, because he thinks we all know it.
Okay. What this guy's doing here is he's running. I was going to run this on my laptop. I did run it on my laptop about an hour ago, just before the
video. You're going into Neverland, John. Come on, man.
Okay, so what I do is you run the image you've just created by running its ID. And all he's doing is running that command on it. So I'm just saying, so what you can do is you can run commands on the...
Sorry, dude, I'm sorry. But you're making really high level.
What I'm doing is I'm running a command, like say I want to run install Apache. I go Apache install on this container. I don't have to be in the container. I can run commands from outside the container. So I can run a script that fires commands at 100 containers just in one hit. I don't even have to get into them.
Does it use security?
It does use security. In fact,
I actually want to see the next screen, and I want to see what your security is.
Okay. So you can run it interactively. So you're in there. So you're in the terminal. It pops up a little terminal. Then you're inside the container. Then you actively install your commands. apt-get. Have a look. You can run X windows in there. Whatever you want. The size, they're only about 100 meg. Usually, they're very small because it doesn't need the whole kernel. We're 100
like a
meg.
video container. It's the same thing. It's just holding the right information that plays the right.
And also, you can use them like Git. You can commit them.
Yeah.
If you do a change, you save it.
So you get multiple changes.
Yes. Versioning, total version control.
Nice.
With IDs.
And it's even nicer than that.
Okay, so for the novices out there that don't understand, because he's totally gone off on this planet extra
I'm
thing.
just starting.
Okay, so here's the thing. If I booted up a version of Windows, what if I could boot up another version of Windows? I know I really even hate saying the word Windows, but what if I could boot up another version of Windows inside Windows and do heaps of changes, like download all my porn and stuff, and then I'm going to boot up another version of Windows, which is just for my business, so it's got my accounts shit and stuff going on.
Okay.
So he's saying that you can actually do that inside Linux, and it's not going to take up fuck all resources. You can do it from the command line. You can put these commands in, this Docker run, it's going to run this Ubuntu virtual machine, and that's what those extra versions of Windows are. They're called virtual machines because you can do it in Windows as well. You can boot up as many different versions of Windows as you want and anonymize yourself and call yourself Bob or call yourself John and then go to your wife's website or work and say you suck. You can do that. You can set up a virtual machine, totally do that, go to your wife's website and say you suck, and I know that you're having an affair with but anyway, but that's how a virtual machine works. What he's talking about doing is at a really low level, and this is actually the best thing about Linux, and it is the first thing that I realized when I did this was I said to my friend, because I was a really graphical person, I went, can I just use an app or something to do it? And he went, no way, man, because there's like hundreds of different things inside Linux that you can connect together like Meccano, and you can make your own shit. And I didn't get it, but once I started connecting all the Meccano together and creating my own shit, I went, whoa, this is super powerful. And that's the whole open source community.
Okay, so
back to you.
So what I could do, say I had the one for games on it, whatever that version. I can actually I can roll them back, delete them, get back to the original
multiple versions. That's right.
Because the differences are tracked, or you can track the differences in the different Docker containers. You can easily spawn a new one. Stop. Is
an example is Linux is 1 gig. Windows XP is 10 gig, but the nice thing is if you're running virtual Windows XP, you can just do multiple versions. So you're still only running the 10 gig version of Windows XP, and then all the changes are like a meg. You can run multiple different versions, just boot them up as you like, and that's what he's talking about there.
Okay, it's hard to explain unless you've actually done it. I need to plug in the machine and just do it.
VGA cable.
Can you give me the VGA cable? Yeah. And I'll just do it and I'll show you. You can see that Docker pull command down there, the Docker pull. If I want a trusted build of a web server with Python Django, I go Docker pull the Django build. Bang! It brings it down. It takes about 2 minutes. It's about 200 meg. I go run. I can get into it and run it inside the container, or I can just run the container. I can run it multiple times. I can muck around.
Are you VGA, DMI, or what?
Brendan, how did we get this going last time?
Whatever works.
Show me your video connected.
It's VGA, this one.
No, that's DMI.
I've got DMI. No, there's VGA.
VGA is better.
Okay, so there's trusted builds. You can send your own builds away, push them as well, and you can commit. The reason I want it is because I'm playing with building websites using different tools. Like sometimes I want to use, sometimes I want to use Python, Django, and sometimes I want to use Drupal, or maybe I want to use, what's your web CMS called?
E107.
E107. I'll build different versions of the sites using containers. They only take 100 meg. I can muck around with them, and if something really breaks, I can just go straight back.
So guys.
Also, the containers are totally secure. They'll run on a web server. People can access the website, and even if they break my site, they won't break my system because they're inside a sandbox, a secure container. which is tiny. But the resources are much smaller because I'm not replicating all the drivers all over again, you know, and the whole kernel all over again. I'm only replicating what's needed.
So yeah, you're using the same kernel on the host machine, and then it's layered a file system over the top of it. So
Yeah, that's right. It
the minimal
forks,
file system.
forks the minimal files, just what's needed.
And so
forks the file system.
when you modify it, you're starting with the file system that it had. And then when you install something, it effectively says, okay, let's put another layer on top of that file system.
Yeah.
So your changes, if you want to export your change to somebody else,
just drag it over to the other screen.
You've installed.
Yeah.
And
Or
it knows
we could
the
just
parent
use
is
both
also
screens.
Ubuntu 12.04 that you put out. So it
what's
says this thing sits on top of the other
There we go.
Ubuntu.
Maximize.
So it doesn't have to
That
pull
one.
that down.
Is that big enough?
Yeah,
How do I
yeah,
make it bigger?
yeah.
Yeah, Shift Plus.
Is that? Whoa.
So it's like each file system layer, if you is read-only below your level. Everything
Just
read-only.
do LL so we can see what's going on.
So it makes it pretty much faster
no,
than
but-
a normal version. It's just.
This is the kind of rubbish you have on your normal file system. Is you'd have. This is my kernel, right? It's running there.
This is your host machine.
Host machine. This is my normal Linux. This is what you see if you go PS and look at all the things that your machine's doing. It's doing it's doing a hell of a lot of stuff, right? That's the host machine, and also the file system. What do we do? LS.
Sorry, it's just doing a top so I can see how much RAM you're using.
Oh, okay. Right. And what's the other thing we're going to? I don't know how much.
Oh, you're not using any resource.
Well.
Run your virtual machine.
Let's run some Docker containers.
Yeah.
Even better.
Totally.
How do I get out of here?
Escape.
Okay, so I've got some. Where's my? So I've been mucking around with the. Let's have a look at the images. I think that's that. Here's some I downloaded in a. So I can run any one of these containers. I downloaded.
So Docker's just like KVM or any virtual machine manager.
Yeah.
It's much smarter in some ways.
Is it?
Let's run.
Just run another OS like Ubuntu or
Well,
something.
see, those ones up there, the Ubuntu 12.04 is a 209 meg download. It's a minimum install of 12.04. And then if you want to install something like
but that's not a GUI though.
No, but if you want.
Have you got any virtual machines that's a GUI that we can see?
No, I have. Oh, sorry. Hang on.
No, but if you wanted to install a GUI,
You
start
can.
with that container, and then you say to add the GUI. And
So it's just another KVM.
But why add all the drivers and all the kernel? It only gets what it needs.
It just works more efficiently.
You've already got the drivers on your host machine.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't need to do it.
Yeah, but that's how KVM and stuff works as well.
Okay, so there's Ubuntu 14.04 there.
You know they do. It's KVM does.
Not run the GUI.
See, on KVM you can switch
Let's run it,
between it
let's
being
run the damn
virtualized
thing.
and being direct access.
I just can't remember how to run it.
I just want to see another virtual machine running.
Yeah,
like
okay,
this.
hang on. That's pulling it. It's pulling CentOS. There, I'm pulling CentOS down. I'm looking at images. Okay, I'm gonna run it.
I'm interested, but I want to see it running.
Okay, here it is running. There it is running. So I've got a different route.
Notice how fast it started up.
That was really quick.
Is that pretty?
Yeah, that's really quick.
Just do a top on there.
Now do a
hang
top.
on.
Let's see what
Let's
the top
look
is
what's in there. There's the LS.
once your virtual machine's running.
DSA. I don't know what's. Oh, I'm not running very much. Look.
All you've got there is
Top. Just do a top quickly. Sorry, I want to see what's running.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. How do I get out of the bloody container?
Escape.
Quit.
Oh, hang on. I'll just create another.
Control D.
Yeah. Oh, can I? Right. What did I just run before I ran Docker run?
Do a top.
I'm interested because how can that be so lean? So it's using, like processor, multi-processing functions and stuff too.
Does it need a multiple
It must do.
Oh, no, I've run some now. I'm running a couple of it.
So is it doing processor virtualization?
how do I run heaps? I can run as many. I can run 100. I could run. How would I run 100 of them? Let's go by running 100 of them.
You can do things like
Well, you can run 100 of them, but they're not doing anything.
SSH demon inside there, and tell it that its port 22 is gated out
Oh, that's
to
right. Yeah,
another
yeah.
port on the external one. So port 9000.
That's a whole honeypot type stuff, but
Yeah,
but I haven't seen a machine running yet.
It is. That's it running now.
Top it. So you're on that machine now?
Yeah, yeah. There it is.
Okay, doing it.
Damn, that thing is lean. What's going on there, man?
There's that I was thinking, and quit. How to get out of it?
I'm actually really interested in that because that is so lean, and you haven't actually left your real environment. Well, you've got
It's
this
in a
virtual
container.
machine
It's in
over
a
here.
sandbox. That sandbox, you can actually sandbox that. So
It's the BSD way of doing things. It's really good.
what can I do? Okay.
One way of thinking of it is like a super
what?
CH route.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
how's it accessing hardware? Is it going through
Yeah,
the
it
main
goes
OS
through
for the hardware?
It's
Okay,
using
yeah.
the same kernel, just the kernel.
So it is, but it is. It's talking to
That's not
the
the
main
No,
kernels
no,
to
no,
access the
no.
hardware. So it's not true virtualization. I actually like it that way. I think it should work that way. And that's why BSD hasn't gone the KVM way, where you can actually create separate, totally
Well, that guy's
different
running it.
virtualized
Okay.
machines. It's not separate. There's
It
some
is-
security
hang on, wait.
issues with that.
No, it's totally separate. You can make it totally separate, but
If it's using the main kernel, it's never totally separate.
no, you know what you can do? You can map a completely different user set. So even the root is a different user in the other container. So all the users.
It's still not separate. It's still using
But
the
they're
main
forked-
kernel.
No, because it's forked all the processes.
In a
different
real
processes.
virtual machine, it actually acts like a totally separate machine. It's not calling back down to the.
But you can change the options. So this, the only reason that's doing that is because it's using the same root account. But I can map the root. I've got.
What's
a
it
link-
based on? Because most virtual technology is based on the thing where all virtual technology comes from.
You can install a virtual Docker inside VirtualBox.
Is that what it's based on?
And it's 24%.
in the kernel. It's called LXC. Anyway.
Yeah.
The way
But
to make it more secure is, it's like I'm saying, is to map all the users, which includes the root user here.
so it's open source, isn't it?
Yeah.
And where does it come from originally?
The LXC project.
Okay. I'm definitely going to have a look because it looks really cool.
I've got this. I've got a lot of. I've got one of the developers blog who will explain it nicely from the ground up.
How is it being used commercially? Because like KVM and stuff like that,
It's being used
or
by
virtual
Google.
box
Hang
and
on,
stuff.
okay. It's being used by who's?
Go to the Docker homepage.
Yeah. I don't actually. If I look on my slides, I've got all of
Just go back to your presentation because I'm really interested to see because
Let's
I
remove
switched
it.
from Zen
Let's
to
remove
KVM because
RF,
KVM was open source.
etc. Let's remove RF, etc. What's good? What can I? How can I prove it? Remove RF. Let's remove the etc. SBIN. Bin.
What?
Let's remove
Why would you do
everything.
that?
Let's remove everything. Remove RF code. Have you ever done that?
And can you still run?
But I'm just killing
It shows you're not a real virtual machine if you can still run.
But it's because the.
Yeah, no, it shows that you weren't actually running in a real virtual machine environment.
Let's go. Hang on now. What's going to happen? Oh, what machine was I in?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Well, you're there now.
Exactly.
Oh shit! Actually, I did that the other day.
Yeah.
I put an SSD drive into my computer, put Linux in there and installed it, and wiped everything off my drive.
I just blew my machine. That's cool laugh.
Oh, Johnny.
Woo, that was bad. That's not a very good demo.
That's cool, bro. That's cool. It's cool.
Put it back on the.
You just wiped out your home directory.
That's not going.
No, wasn't that?
You've got a Linux stick, eh?
Eh?
You've got a Linux stick.
Put it on the.
Why did you do something like that out of all things to test?
I'm gonna be because I was getting really.
You wanted to show how awesome
You winner.
That was good. Is that on video? We should have it on video.
Yeah, it's not on video. You're so lucky.
Well, we actually don't even know if the whole thing's recording.
That is recorded. That screen that you're seeing there.
Kill that partition.
Actually, it's probably got the sound, and if it has, I'll put it up on Facebook for you.
Because I have to. Anyways, where am I now?
Okay, guys, we have half an hour to go. Can you finish within 15 minutes?
Okay, LXC.
Okay, it's using LXC. You can get true unprivileged containers by mapping the users. See down the bottom, it's got a Docker run using the LXC configuration. So you can use all the power that's in LXC, which allows you.
I'm fucking impressed, man. Sorry, I am really impressed.
So all the root users are mapped to different users on the host system. So even if they break out of the container, they're not, and they think they're root, they're not actually running as root.
I've seen you running, and that is fast as, and that's so, it's very cool.
Okay, so you have trusted repositories up on the net, which have like a build.
They're maintained by the Docker staff.
Well, no, I don't know how they get trust exactly.
We need somebody to do a presentation on GitHub as well, because it's so awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good. So there's a word, if you want to try out WordPress and you want to run it live on your server, you can get a Docker image and throw it on your server. And
don't use WordPress.
Just muck around with it. And you can run it actually, fairly securely, because it's really hard for people to break out of the container. But it uses bugger all of your resources.
It's true, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, that's.
Was that it?
Sorry, that's it. Really? Yep.
You didn't actually finish the presentation then.
Why is that?
Well, you just stopped it now. There was no synopsis. This is what you should be doing.
Okay. In conclusion.
But that was awesome. That was awesome.
In conclusion, I would go to the Docker IO site and actually have a play with it. It's really easy to play with. Like I was making around, but it's also easy to remove all your files on your laptop.
No, that was really good. Dude, how long have we both been working on Linux? You know, I've done it on Windows, I've done it on Linux. It just happens.
There is an undelete tool for each three.
I'll see.
You can do a low level undelete if you really want to do it. But like I just wiped this machine before you guys came in, because you should never rely on local data. It should always be synced up somewhere else.
Oh yeah. I should have actually checked that I was in a virtual machine, because I was getting really, because you were arguing about something with me.
All the time.
It was
I love you, man. I love you. You're a great arguer.
Your manual.
Great ideas come from arguing. That's why.
Man, you were working out something wicked down. I got a bit carried away.
We've actually finished early. How did that happen?
Because I was
Okay, questions.
Okay. So you're talking WordPress sucks. Can you still get this Docker thing through that E107, or no? Is it the special WordPress thing?
Firstly, you would not use E107 unless you wanted to supply service to my clients, and you could. I've got over 300 clients, and I don't have any problem with anybody else supplying service to them. In fact, there's over 100,000 businesses in the world that use E107, but it is really specialist. Even though it's in the top 5% of open source systems, it's nothing compared to the amount of people that use WordPress, Joomla.
Another big one.
If you do learn it, you would probably end up working here.
Okay.
And I am going to hire a new person in the next 2 months.
I'll still be at school, but who knows? Maybe in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
This is really a Docker thing.
Time to stop the broadcast.
Something.
How do we stop it?
I think I'll stop broadcasting.
Well,
that was a pretty legendary.
So everyone say goodbye, or no? Hey, this was cool.
We just closed this thing.
Stop.